Hey folks, it's Wednesday night. That means it's time for Rebel Wrap Up. Fan and Team FYN Sports and Circuit World of Blue Ridge present Fan and Rebel Wrap Up. We want to thank Papa's Pizza to Go and Pepsi for providing the drink and the meal for the players and the coaches, and all of our Team FYN Sports sponsors. Don't forget to follow us at Team FYN Sports on Twitter. We'll also find our Facebook page, Instagram. And I'm here tonight with head coach Chad Cheatham. Defensive line coach Mark Stone is with us tonight. We have sophomores. We have, pronounce your name again?
Campbell Cosentino.
Cosentino's not on the couch yet. Okay, there you go. So we'll have Campbell Cosentino, I want to get that right. Nose guard number 31. He'll be with us in the second segment. Starting out tonight, we have number 33 outside linebacker, sophomore Thomas Mercer, and number 70 offensive tackle Mason Bundy is with us. So let's start. We're talking 3A Region 7, and we're deep in it. And hey, how about sweatshirt weather for football? No more kickoffs at 90 degrees, right? But 3A Region 7, let's talk about the region before we get started, where everybody stands. And we've got Greater Atlanta Christian 4-0, Dawson County 2-1, North Hall 2-1, Fannin 2-1 in the region, Lumpkin 1-2, East Hall 1-3, Cherokee Bluff 0-4. Scores around the region this past Friday night was East Hall 42 over Cherokee Bluff 35, and Greater Atlanta Christian 38 over Lumpkin County 0, and North Hall 62 to Fannin's 13. I got to read the scores, Coach. That's part of my job, okay?
That's all right.
You would expect me to do my job, right?
Yeah, that's fine.
All right.
Everybody knows it anyway.
I didn't break no news there.
Not Blue Ridge, you did.
But, okay, let's move it right along. Coach, coming off 2 big wins last week, but you know what? We knew going over to North Hall the weapons they have.
Sure.
We knew they're going to light it up, and we know we don't discount these Fannin Rebels in no way whatsoever. But we know at the top of the region this year, you're new coming in. You got a new program with the kids. They bought into it. That's a done deal. It doesn't matter, folks out there, what that scoreboard said. These guys have bought into the program, and they're working hard. And the results are now. You're seeing results,
right.
And you got a lot of future stuff. So we knew in this region, it's a power region, and we know we're going to see North Hall, Dawson, and GAC up there, and you knew that going in. But talk about that explosive offense that you guys hit, fastest of the year that you've seen.
No doubt. Those 3 backs, 4, 5, and 6, the quarterback, were extremely fast. We talked about that going into the game. We had to tackle those guys in space. And for a quarter there, we did a pretty good job. And I think it was 20-13 into the first quarter, and we had a shot to close the gap. But when you got that kind of speed, and we're playing a lot of youngsters who are just trying to figure it out. It happens. It can get away fast, and it did. And then we were in a battle. We had some injuries that really hurt us with Traitlin and Mosley, our tailback and fullback, and then so those kind of things set you back. And but our kids battled. That's the most important thing. We fought. There were times that we had 2 freshmen on the field and 9 sophomores. So nothing,
Well, Coach, we got 3 sophomores here tonight. Not to discount those great seniors and juniors that are on the roster, but we got 3 sophomores here tonight. I mean, this team is building and already has success, and everything's bright with it. So, I mean, we're going to move past this football game, but we're going to learn from it.
Absolutely.
And Coach Stone, and that's what I want to ask you is the defensive line. All right, your defensive line coach. These guys were so explosive that they were through that line, and if they got through that line, they were gone. Next thing they were seeing is end zone. Talk about what you went and talked to the defensive line, because this is the fastest you've seen all year. And let me ask you this, 2 things, I'll let you go here. What did you say about, hey, look at the speed that you guys just woke up to, and that's what you're getting ready to see the rest of the year?
Well, besides seeing that, we probably got the smallest interior defensive line in the state of Georgia.
I agree.
I mean, they probably average about 150 pounds. But those two young men in there last Friday night in our four-man front really battled. And, couldn't ask for no more. Can't, technique, you kind of, just battle for us. And they did very well, but, they were a different offensive line than we've probably seen all year long. And I was proud that we battled the way that we did. But, we're going to get some lead in their pants. And if their attitude stays the way it is right now, you got some good football players.
We're just going to double up on breakfast.
Yeah,
jelly and milk. Let's get the chocolate milk out. All right. Let me ask you. I got number 70 here, offensive tackle, Mason Bundy. Mason, okay, you're a sophomore. You've played this year a lot of good teams, but now you're really getting into some very strong teams in your region. So, talk about what you guys were up against. What you guys were up against last Friday night. I always say you got to face that. You got to own it. Okay. And I never come on the show that I don't talk to every player and respect you as young men that know that you have to own it and see what happened and focus to do better next time. Sure. What happened the other night? But what was the takeaway for you on that game as far as what you're working on this week?
The defensive end I was on last week was probably the best defensive end I've played all season. But as far as Dawson County goes, I haven't really watched a lot of film on them, so I'm kind of slacking there. But honestly, I don't know what to expect as far as the defensive end that I'm going to be going up against. So, I really don't know.
So, but this is one of the toughest lines you went up against this year.
Yes.
What about for you as outside linebacker, Thomas, for the defense, seeing these guys last Friday night?
Well, they were aggressive and they were a great team, and they played like the great team that they were. The O-line was strong. They were aggressive on our D-line, shoving them back all the way back to the backers, and then they had gaps, the right gaps open for their running back to run through. And whether you were trying to go inside or outside, they were opposite of you. They knew what to do. And they were a great football team, and hopefully we can learn from that.
As far as this coming week against Dawson, what do you see now as far as the defense is concerned? Dawson sets up, and there's about three guys, if I remember right, that you don't know who's under center.
Yeah.
So, what are you guys seeing on film, and how are you guys preparing for that?
Well, we're trying to get ready for it. They're another great team like North Hall. They have a strong line. They have a great quarterback and great backers, and they'll give us another battle. But, good thing we went against North Hall because we know what to expect.
Let me ask you this. Let me ask you this. The both of you, I want both of you to answer that. After Friday night's game, you get home. Has the team already shook it off, got it out of the way, it's done, it's over? What's the attitude this week at practice?
Well, yes, it's football. You play your game, you practice all week and you play a game on Friday, and win or lose, you have to go into the weekend and move on and be ready for the next team you're playing. And, it's hard to get beat like that. It's hard to lose in general against any team because you always want to win with all the work that you're putting in. And it hurt, but I think we're trying to look up. We want to change, our football career this year, and instead of it being the same things it's been over the years. And Coach Cheatham's done a wonderful job with the team this year. He's definitely built the around being a team. I noticed that none of us were beating up on each other in that game.
He's practicing for press conferences in the future,
man.
I mean, I'm telling you what, I can already see him at the podium, picking which reporter wants to answer the question. What about for you? How's the attitude? Have you guys already shaken that off? What about for you out there on the practice field this week?
I think we were able to shake it off on the bus ride home.
That's great.
A lot of the guys in the back of the bus were. But this week, we also had a lot of time over the weekend to work and get ourselves prepared for the Dawson County game that's coming up this Friday. And I think that playing North Hall last week is kind of not really made us as nervous. I mean, it's a region game. I'm pretty sure we're all nervous, and we're still excited to play it. But I don't think it'll be as scary as it was going into the North Hall game.
I can understand where you're coming from. I don't know if I don't know if saying North Hall is like a wake-up call. Like, when you come off Cherokee Bluff and some teams like that, there's a big difference. And, I don't know if you can just say, wow, that was just a wake-up call. But I will say this, the thing is going into Dawson after playing North Hall, knowing that you're going to see the speed, knowing that they're going to be blasting through and not knowing who has the ball. And once they get into your secondary, they can be gone. Those kind of things are things that you can now have more of a comfort, be ready to play. But let me ask you this before we go to break, because I ask everybody on the couch. For you, Mason, when you got done Friday night, personally for you, critique yourself. I can say that this week.
Yes, sir.
Last week took me 3 shots.
That's right, yeah.
Critique yourself. What did you say Friday night you had to work on this week that you're working on?
I think this week I had to work on moving my feet a lot faster and a lot harder than I was. Last week we were probably the best outside rusher I've gone up against, and it's a lot to work on and improve. And I hope this week I've been able to build that up for this coming Friday.
Thomas, what was that? What is that for you this week that you're working on yourself?
Well, I'm trying to work on a lot. I really beat myself up when I can't complete my objectives in a game. When I see a back go by on my side, I feel like it's my fault. But I really want to work on, just being more aggressive, and filling the gaps when they need to be filled, and holding outside contain when there needs to be outside contain, and breaking down and hitting the guy with the ball in the end.
So you had a to-do list.
Yes.
Hey, you're watching Fannin Rebel Wrap-Up, and we're here at Circuit World in Blue Ridge. Want to thank them. Want to thank Papa's Pizza to Go for the meal, and Pepsi for our drinks, providing our drinks. And don't forget all of our Team FYN sponsors. And every Monday at 10 a.m., on FYNTV.com, an instant replay with Dave Garner, North Georgia's only live online sports show, every Monday, 10 a.m. We're going to take a brief break. We're going to come back. We're going to have another one of the Fannin Rebels players with us, and we're going to talk a little bit about this upcoming Friday night against Dawson County. Take us a break, Victor.
In 1981, Reed Nicholson began selling tires out of an old barn in Mineral Bluff. Little did he know that he had just laid the groundwork for the most trusted names in automotive services in the Blue Ridge area. In 1997, Nicholson Tire Center became what it is today, holding the same values of faith, family, and great customer service. 2 locations to serve you, and the Blue Ridge location is currently expanding to offer fast service and the largest U-Haul provider in Georgia. Nicholson Tire Center, Blue Ridge, and Mineral Bluff. Circuit World, with multiple locations to serve you in Murphy and Franklin, North Carolina, Blairsville, Blue Ridge, and Ellen, Georgia. Locally owned and operated since 1985. Appliances, electronics, and furniture. Name brand products like LG, Samsung, Dell, Whirlpool, Ashley, Catnapper, and more. No credit check, only 10% down on furniture, and only $10 down on any new lease purchase. Mention FYN10 for your special deal today at Circuit World.
Rebel Wrap-Up, and we're here at Circuit World, and we are in Blue Ridge, right, JR?
Yes, sir.
Just double checking, because sometimes I'm at Circuit World coming live from LJ or Blairsville or somewhere. I got to double check where I'm at. Thank you, Papa's Pizza to Go and Pepsi for providing the meal for the players and the coaches, and all of our Team FYN Sports sponsors. We're here with head coach Chad Cheatham and defensive line coach Mark Stone. Happy to have our coaches with us. Joining us now on the couch is sophomore number 31 nose guard Campbell Costantino. Did I get that right?
Yes, sir.
I've been practicing for a while, folks. You don't know. Let's start with you, Campbell. As far as the nose guard number 31, you got to get him the double breakfast too.
Peanut butter and jelly.
Yeah,
Yeah.
got to get on that chocolate milk.
Send one of those
All right,
pieces on.
so you heard the guys in the first segment, so you kind of know where I'm going. Friday night, most speed you've seen all year. Talk a little bit about the team that you just went up against, some of the takeaways, and some of the things that happened last Friday night.
North Hall was definitely different. I started against Turkey Bluff and East Hall, and with North Hall, they did a great job of getting the gaps open, and they had some fast guys where if they hit those gaps, it's like they were gone. They did just a great job executing. They were really aggressive. They weren't, they weren't the biggest dudes in the world, but they were good. They knew how to execute, and they knew how to work together as a team really well. And that's how they got their final product of a 62 score.
Well, you know what? The way you put that out is just the bottom line. That's what happened, and I mean, and you're respecting your opponent. They're good, and and they did. It looked like as soon as they found that hole and the gap, they were gone.
And they had a great outside run game too. They get to the outside and they had so much speed with 4 and 5. They'd be gone.
Let's talk a little bit. How long have you been playing football?
I've been playing football ever since 6th grade, so 11 years, or not 11 years, since 11
That's
years
pretty
old.
good. I mean, how you doing in math?
Let's not talk about that right now.
I'm just joking. Trust me. It's not fair for me to say that to you.
No, you're
I
fine.
give 3 numbers and then I give the total and then it comes over there. But you've been playing since the 6th grade?
Yes, sir.
So as a sophomore, you were on this team last year?
Yes, sir.
And then you played through the middle school.
Mm-hmm.
Talk about this team here being a sophomore with a young group. Now you're gonna graduate a lot of seniors this year, but you guys got a lot of young guys on the field. You're out there playing with a lot of juniors and sophomores.
Yeah, I was saying
Oh, go ahead.
it's kind of bringing back to the old days. I'm playing right beside all the guys I've been playing against ever since we were little. With all the injuries and such that we've been dealing with. I can't lie to you. I've never played defensive line before until this season. I've always been a linebacker. I've played receiver a couple years, but it's definitely, where it's a little bit different. It's I feel like it's bringing back the past a little bit too.
Well, in high school football, especially in rural areas, you never know when you're going to get called on, and you have to step in.
Yeah.
And you have to be prepared to play these other positions. What's it like this year on the team as far as the growth of the team this year, of how you see every week this team getting better, regardless of what happened last week, but this team getting better, unified, and really buying into the program? As far as being a sophomore, I'm not looking into next year or whatever yet, but
yeah, well, I appreciate the team stepping up. We've dealt with a lot. We've had numerous injuries, and I just give a pat on the back to the several sophomores and a couple freshmen that have stepped up, willing to help the team out for these few games. With the 2-1 that we are in the region, I'm really proud that we've been able to just cap on that and be able to achieve that. That we are able to, still work as a team and overcome the circumstances, no matter what they are.
Coach, like you said earlier, we were talking about something, and you said, well, if you're in Blue Ridge, you already know.
Yeah.
So we're still in Blue Ridge on this next one. So we know Chandler Kendall is out for the season.
Right, broken collarbone.
Broken collarbone. Will be back in time for baseball.
Sure. He'll be back in about 4 weeks.
Yeah, he'll be back
It's not in 2. It's just a fraction.
Right. So, but he stepped in. Let's take a minute here. As a coach for several years, Chandler decided to come out for football senior year, hasn't played, and he stepped right in and as a senior took off and was actually reacting like somebody had been playing for a long time at that wide receiver spot. Did he not?
He did, and that's a compliment to him as athletic ability and in the way that you buy in and listen and you're coachable. But I can say the same for Kaz and for Thomas and for Mason. I mean, you're talking about sophomores. Kaz was a rover for us. He played on the back end, and we needed guys that could play up front with a lot of motor and give us 4 quarters of tremendous effort. And that's what he gives us. That's what Thomas gives us. That's what Mason gives us. I don't care if it's a sophomore, freshman, or whoever it might be. We're going to put those type kids on the field in a position to give us a chance to win. I said that when I came in, that we're going to play the best and the ones that are going to give us the most effort and can execute the best.
What are you talking to about these guys this week about seeing Dawson Friday night? Because this is the point in the region where this point in the region where things are happening. You're facing some strong teams.
Mm-hmm.
What are you talking to these guys about on what they're coming up Friday night?
Forget the past. Forget the past and push forward to the future. And the future's the destiny is ours. We win one football game. We're playing in week 11. We have 3 games left. Dawson and GAC are very tough. I think North Hall, Dawson, and GAC are all in the top 11 of the state AAA. But we got a chance to win a couple maybe a couple ball games and make a run. That's what we're focusing on. That's what we want to do.
What do you see with Dawson on both sides of the ball Friday night? You're going over there.
Big, physical, and strong. Offense is similar to a spread style offense like Brian runs over at Union, where they're running a lot of stuff with that quarterback, number 3. I mean, he's good. And then when they want to get to the edge, to 5 and 3 on the jet sweep. Defensively, they're a 4-2-5, very similar to North Hall's defense, played almost the exact same way. I hate to say, I don't want to say this in a negative way. I'm not sure there have as much team speed as North Hall. North Hall had a lot of team speed, 11 guys on offense, really with a lot of speed.
I can see that.
But they're probably heavier and more physical, and they have the ability to pound you. So they're not going to stretch you to the edge as much as they are just going to hit you in the mouth.
Well, when I was talking to the guys here, all year long you try to simulate the speed or the defense that they're going to see, and that's the best you can do is try to simulate it until somebody simulates it for you on Friday night.
Well, we call it game shock.
Right.
I mean, unless you have big numbers like GAC or these big programs who can get a scout team up there that's comparable to what you're going to see. I mean, we're in game shock the first couple series. You can't simulate that stuff.
Right.
You can't simulate the wing tape period unless you run it as your own offense. That's a whole offense in itself, and so they're pulling guards and they're running counter and they're running counter trap and they're running buck sweep and they're running XB and they're motioning here and there. And it's very tough for us.
Yeah, but this week in practice, when you're talking to the guys, somehow they now, however you're saying it to them. I don't know if you said this, but I've told you all year you're going to hit these teams that are going to take off,
right.
and now they're going to take off. So I think like one of them said in the first segment, hey, we know. We know. I mean, and we won't be caught. I guess it's on your heels this Friday night. Coach Stone, let me ask you, as far as your defense is concerned, what are some of the things you're trying to work on this week with the guys, knowing you're going up at Dawson? Good football team, good program. What are some of the things that you're working with the D-line on?
Well, they've got a very good offensive line, and we're preaching stay low. We're gonna stunt a little bit more than this is not going to Dawson, is it? We're gonna stunt, send some linebackers and some things, try to create some havoc for them, maybe that they hadn't seen. But I think we got a great game plan. And I keep saying to them, let's go out there and play hard they may drop the ball, throw an interception. We may get up a couple of touchdowns, and they may be in a panic mode. So let's play hard and do our job in order to give us a chance in this ball game.
Campbell, let me ask you. Come off Friday night, critique yourself. What is it that you showed up to practice and said, I have to work on that? You knew when you left Friday, I got to go work on this. What was that for you, and what are you doing this week?
Well, of course, against North Hall, they were a very explosive team, and I know I'm going to be seeing a lot more of that come this Friday night. So getting low, of course, I'm not going to be definitely not the biggest defensive lineman out there. So getting low, just exploding into that. Offensive line's a key part to just wreck it in there and just make it a whole mess. And getting low and being able to get underneath those big boys is what I'm going to have to do.
Yeah, he might want to get his head and eyes around on kickoff cover.
Man.
I don't know if you saw that clip or not, but
that was a punt. So.
Yeah, it was a punt. That's right. Yeah, get your head and eyes around and see what's coming, because these big teams and good teams, they find a way to come back on you and circle around and find somebody that's not looking around.
Yeah. Trying to find a way to put some rocks in his pants.
Well, listen, I wish you guys well Friday night, and you guys are a great team. And you know what? You're a solid football team. You just are. I've watched you this year. You guys are. I guess I don't know. I'm stumbling over it because sometimes I don't want to say something, but I sat on this couch this time last year, and I was not talking to this team about the possibility of playing the 11th game. All right, so we are doing that now, and things are different. So I mean, hey, scoreboard's the scoreboard. We're just going to take it and go on. Let's see, folks. This Friday night, let me tell you where everybody's going to be in the region. Greater Atlanta Christian is going to be traveling over to play Cherokee Bluff. Lumpkin County is going to be over at North Hall. And actually, I said away a minute ago, the Dawson County will be traveling up here to take on Fannin County. You'll have a home game that kicks off at 7:30 Friday night. Don't miss it. Come out and support the team. This is a great football team. They're doing great. They want you up in the stands cheering this Friday night for them.
Senior night for us also.
So this Friday night is senior night, so don't miss
all of our fall sports.
All fall sports?
Yes, sir.
Senior night for all fall sports is this Friday night, so don't forget it. Come out and support the team. I'm your host, BKP. You're watching Fannin Rebel Wrap-Up at Circuit World at Blue Ridge. And we want to thank Papa's Pizza To Go, Pepsi, all the Team FYN Sports sponsor. Follow us on Twitter at Team FYN Sports, Instagram, Facebook. Let's see, am I forgetting anything? Monday morning at 10 a.m., every Monday morning at 10 a.m. The Dave Garner Instant Replay, FYNTV.com. I got it all, Coach. You good?
Yes, sir.
All right, let's go home, and we'll see you Friday night on the sideline.